Hello everyone, I'm Jacob Kaufman.
And I'm Richard Bimmer.
And welcome to episode 9 of Rolling Release, our weekly podcast about the perpetual improvement of Linux. How you doing this week, Richard?
Pretty great.
Awesome, I'm doing okay as well. It was a really slow news week. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
I was checking throughout the week. Some of the news sites haven't been updated in days. There's just not a lot happened this week, but we tried to find some interesting stuff for you guys. So here's what we found. We're going to jump right in with the news this week. First story, this was pretty early in the week. Native Linux menus finally have come to brackets, as well as some other improvements. And Richard, have you used brackets before?
No.
I have used it. I actually discovered it just a couple months ago. Some other people found it and showed it to me. And at first I was skeptical, because what brackets is it's a web development IDE. So it's made for HTML, CSS, that kind of thing. Maybe JavaScript, but mainly just HTML, CSS. And I already had a web IDE. I preferred Aptana before brackets was around. Have you ever used Aptana?
No, I've used PHP Storm mostly for web development.
Yeah,
that's why
you do a lot more detailed back-end development. I don't touch PHP unless I'm really deep into stuff. Normally what I'm doing is just changing HTML until it looks the way I want it to, like I kind of said last week.
Yeah.
So I used to use Aptana Studio. Now, one of the things about Aptana was that it did not have a live preview. You could launch a website while you're working on an Aptana, but you had to refresh it manually. And my favorite feature of Brackets, and Brackets, by the way, it's an open source editor. It is made by Adobe. But my favorite feature about it is actually that it's got a live preview where you can open up a Chromium application, or on Windows it's Chrome, on Linux it's Chromium. You click live preview, it opens it up, and then as you make changes to the code, it actually updates it live in the Chrome window. So you can see
that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
I don't think mine has that.
Yeah, the changes that you're making, especially with CSS, it does it when you're changing the CSS as well. And then when you click on different parts, it sort of highlights them for a second on the screen so you can see where you're clicking in the code. It's really handy. I started using it, and I've been using it. I've actually got it installed here. I'll show in a moment. But a new version is available for download. It is version 1.10. And in the past, now Brackets is an Electron app. That's one of the reasons I was actually skeptical about it, because Aptana was a native application. Brackets is an Electron app, which, just like Discord or Telegram or Rocket Chat, an Electron app means that this is a web app that you're using. It's just running in its own little Chrome window that just doesn't look like a Chrome window. But I was skeptical at first. One of the things about it before was that it was actually using HTML drop-down menus. It wasn't using native system drop-down menus on Linux, at least. This latest version 1.10 actually adds native menu support. So I'm actually going to open up Brackets right now and show kind of what that looks like. Now, in the article on OMG Ubuntu, the screenshot they have, funnily enough, is from Ubuntu. And they've actually got at the top the Ubuntu menu, where it's in Unity. You've got the global menu where your file edit, all those buttons are at the top bar, kind of like Mac OS on Unity. So that you can obviously tell that the menu is integrated. It's the native menu because it's part of the universal menu. Now here on KDE Plasma, this menu doesn't look super different from what it did before when it was not native. The colors are a little bit more this is the Breeze colors, and the font is my system font. But aside from that, the menu, it's a little bit faster because it's a native menu. But yeah, it's got all the same options it did before. So I wasn't super concerned about the menus in particular before anyway. But yeah, this is what Brackets looks like, and I can kind of put it full screen on my little corner here. And yeah, you can open up here's my index.html page. This is just a project I made based off of Bootstrap that I'm working on for somebody. Actually, this is one project that I made based off of Bootstrap, and then I'm in the process of adapting that for somebody else's as well. But you can see it's got all the stuff that I need. Basically, it's got auto indenting. When you open a tag, it automatically closes it for you. When you've got CSS files here, and yeah, I'm not going to open up this web page right now because that's actually somebody's website I'm working on. But yeah, when you open up the live browser, it's a really nice feature how it can show you what you're doing live as you're changing things. So yeah, if you're looking for an HTML or CSS editor, Brackets is available. Some other improvements in 1.10, by the way, in addition to the new native menus. It also supports more than 40 different file encodings, so they added some new file encodings that supports It adds backward and forward navigation in the editor history, so you can go back and see your history of what you've been changing, and then it also lets users disable any of the default extensions that ships with the live Chrome or Chromium browser that you get. So if you want to change any of the stuff in your test environment, you can do that now. The latest version also saves your search history when you're searching within the IDE. It does have inline CSS code hints, sort of like IntelliSense, a little bit more intelligent prompts for here's maybe what you're trying to type, and then it also fixes a number of bugs. So the entire changelog is on the GitHub page, which is on Adobe's account, as you can see, and it fixes all these known issues. You can go take a look at that. The links will be down in the show notes. Any thoughts about that, Richard?
No. I'm actually kind of interested now in like checking this out.
Yeah.
Since I do a mixture in mine of PHP and HTML,
Mhm.
like I kind of have to have that PHP support.
Yeah.
Yesterday, like, also, does it have any sort of revision history?
Revision history, well, since it's got the backward forward navigation that they just added, I think revision history is one of the features that was kind of added in this version. I personally I haven't used revision history extensively, but that is something.
Yeah, it saved me like so much last night. Somehow I had like a whole bunch of files selected where I was moving something from a copy of my development to production, and I accidentally like reversed it and like nearly screwed everything up.
Yeah.
And it like saved me from like losing 3 hours of work. So
yeah.
I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah. If you were to do that with your front end files, it sounds like this backward forward navigation might help you in that situation. But yeah, I would not be looking to edit PHP in this application. This is really meant to be a front end application. Adobe has other products for back end development, right? Like
I assume.
Don't they have like?
But I haven't used
Dreamweaver. Is that theirs? Yeah, Dream.
Yeah, they do have Dreamweaver.
Yeah, and that's why
that's not free.
Right, it's not free. But like when I first heard about brackets, I was like, oh, this must just be a light version of Dreamweaver. But it's really not. It's a completely different product, really designed specifically for front end.
Does Dreamweaver support Linux?
No,
I would assume
it doesn't. But brackets does.
Most of their normal.
I mean, Dreamweaver is proprietary and brackets is open source. It's completely different in a lot of ways, but yeah. If anyone is looking to get into, once again, light web development, definitely check that out. And our next story is, we just reported, like, within the past couple of weeks that Debian 9 came out, right? Like, wasn't that just a couple weeks ago? So 9.1 is already out.
My first episode, I believe.
Yeah. The first update of Debian 9, codenamed Stretch, is already out, so you can get 9.1 now. And it's mainly just corrections for security issues. It's got a few adjustments for some other problems. But yeah, if you have Debian 9 already, you don't need to reinstall. You don't need to do a distro upgrade. Just do your apt-get update, apt-get upgrade. These are just going to be Debian 9 updates. What the 9.1 means is just that they've gotten to the point where they've said, all right, this is so many updates, we're going to make a new ISO image for this. So if you go to Debian.org now, you're going to get an updated installation image so that you don't have to install all of these after you do a fresh install if you get the updated install media. But yeah, they've got a list of the bug fixes and things aside from security that they've got. In the 3D chess package, for instance, they have reduced wasteful CPU consumption. So that one caught my eye. It was the very first one on the list, and it's like, wow, I wonder how somebody made a chess game accidentally used too much CPU. But yeah, they've also made an update to apt, the package manager, so obviously you're going to want that. The GNOME settings daemon has some new bug fixes. For instance, it now preserves numlock between sessions by default, so you don't have to turn your numlock on every time you restart your computer. So yeah, and then at the bottom of this page here on the Debian website, they've got all of the security issues that were fixed as well with the security advisory IDs, if you're into that sort of thing. So yeah, once again, if you're using Debian 9, just update, and if you're not using Debian 9, then make sure you get the 9.1 media when you download it, because it's got some updates you would want to get anyway. Any thoughts on that?
I just think it's funny that was the important part that they put at the top.
Yeah,
I guess it's an alphabetical order and starts with 3.
Right, yeah.
So
yeah, it's alphabetical, but
the most important part of your operating system's got to have that
3D chess.
Yes.
Not just chess, it's the 3D chess like Windows Vista had. So yeah. Our next story is another point release. FreeBSD 11.1 has been released, and FreeBSD 11 came out a little while ago, not super long ago, but a while ago. And yeah, 0.1 is out now. It's the second release from the stable/11 branch of FreeBSD. It's got updated versions of Clang, LLVM, LLD, LLDB, and libc++. So, I always think it's funny that FreeBSD used to use GCC, just like Linux, for compiling things. Now it uses Clang, and it can be a little slower, Richard. Do you have experience compiling things with Clang?
No.
It can be a little bit slower, I can tell you, but that's what their
By
default
a little,
is.
you mean a lot, then?
Yeah, well, I was also using it on a very old computer, so it's not as big of a difference on modern computers, but on older computers, yes. But yeah, the new FreeBSD 11.1, it's got support for Microsoft Hyper-V Gen 2 virtual machines, so new virtualization options because BSD is big on servers. ZFS now stores compressed data in the cache, which improves cache hit rates and performance if you're using the ZFS file system, which you probably might be interested in if you're using BSD. I mean, even us Linux folks are like dying to get ZFS support in our distros.
Yeah.
So yeah.
About that, and it's really cool.
Yeah. So some improvements there. There are some other improvements. Nothing hugely interesting for the average user, but just general, updates, fixes, just like Debian. Like if you're using FreeBSD 11, just update. Otherwise, you're gonna have an updated ISO. If you want to make a new ISO, it's up to you if you want to do that or not. So yeah. Any other thoughts on that one?
No, but it sounds pretty cool. I really would like to get ZFS and try that eventually from the kind of features it has.
Yeah. Well, can't you get it in Ubuntu now?
I think you can. It's just still not recommended as your boot, from what I heard. You don't really want to use it on the boot drive itself because it's not quite as stable. And then if there's an issue, it literally can't boot itself anymore.
Yeah.
Because it can't even read from the drive it's on.
Yeah. So our next story is this one is one of yours. Why don't you take this one?
Oh right. So basically, as the headline basically says, Adobe is finally killing off Flash. And I just wanted to go in a little more detail than this headline, obviously.
Yeah, okay.
Because first, this article is based off Adobe's press release they did today called Flash and the Future of Interactive Content. Basically, Adobe's press release here. Basically, they went into a long thing how they give themselves credit for kind of influencing the open standards and giving things and making them mature over the years.
And what do you mean open standards?
This does include HTML5, WebGL, and WebAssembly is what they consider the open standards.
Okay.
And basically, then they go on that they worked with some other companies, but here they said specifically we will stop updating and distributing Flash Player at the end of 2020.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to encourage content creators to migrate any existing Flash content over to these new open formats, which is just weird to have Adobe encouraging people to migrate to open formats, but I guess when you make something that you don't want to maintain anymore, I can kind of see it.
Yeah.
So basically, they are trying to keep support for another full 3 years, so which is good for people in transition, because obviously there's certain things that still use Flash, and they need to be able to keep that. They need to allow people to have some time to transition.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think many consumers use it a whole lot. But also, just in case people might be confusing this with Flash, the program, because there was obviously the original Flash program that a lot of people used to animate. They did actually replace that with Animate CC a while back for their Creative Cloud package.
Yeah.
And so if you want to use the Flash the features that Flash had to animate, you can still use that in Animate CC. And I imagine you just export that to a different video format that wouldn't be SWF anymore.
Right.
So that they're still keeping support for that. That's still one of their big things. Obviously, they kind of built a lot of their company, I think, on that.
So to be clear, what you're talking about is that there's two different things called Flash. One of them is the Flash plugin that you use in your web browser that things can use like games and videos and stuff. The other one is a program that people use for 2D animation. So people can make games in that, but they can also make just videos. So they already had replaced the Adobe Flash creative program with Adobe Animate. What's being discontinued now, what you're saying, is the browser plugin that's being discontinued.
Yeah. The player itself.
Yeah.
And going back to the original article, they've always had some pretty crappy support for Flash on Linux anyway, so I don't think it's a huge deal.
I remember back when they discontinued Flash for Linux, years ago. They said, we're not updating Flash for Linux anymore. And then 6 months later, we're going to start updating Flash for Linux again. Do you remember that?
I feel like I do. For a while I heard that.
Yeah.
at the time I wasn't heavily using Linux quite as much, so it didn't mean as much to me.
Yeah.
And also I wasn't even heavily using Flash as much, so it wasn't quite as important because I'd already like switched, I think, the HTML like 5 beta
Right.
player on YouTube at that point.
Yeah.
Because that was, I think, still in beta at that time.
Yeah.
But also, I guess Facebook was kind of a major user with Facebook games, so they're also Facebook has announced today, not today, but in response to that, Facebook announced that they're going to move Facebook games from Flash to some open standards as well.
That caught my eye. Yeah.
Because I think Facebook Games has a desktop client too, right?
I don't know if it does. I look forward to seeing Farmville ported to HTML5. Like, how's that gonna work?
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think they actually support the older Farmville anymore, even. But that's interesting.
I don't know, but seriously though, like talking about games, we always talk about how much Flash sucks, and we're talking about video. Now, like you said, YouTube had the HTML5 beta player, and there was a long time when YouTube had HTML5, but like Dailymotion still required Flash, and then Dailymotion got HTML5, but then live streaming always required Flash, and then eventually Beam was the first live streaming website to have HTML5, then Hitbox got it, eventually Twitch came along and finally got HTML playback, but then like all of that is just video. Do you think that like browser-based games are going to go away now that Flash is leaving?
I think they can. I think they can survive on HTML5, and I feel like a lot of browser-based games were actually using HTML5 before, like before a lot of the stuff switched over to it. Because I know there were a lot of small games written you can try in your browser that are just programmed in HTML5, simple ones. Like I'm pretty sure stuff like Agario was written in HTML5, right?
Yeah, that was
played
HTML,
it a little to remember, but.
I
did. There was a game I played a couple times called Town of Salem. I'm pretty sure that was Flash, but then they also did make a desktop native client.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. I assume they probably have switched over from Flash by now. And even if they haven't, they have 3 years, so it's not a huge issue. And I am happy that at least if Adobe's going to do this, which is a good thing, they need to push for some like more secure standards because Flash has not only been lacking Linux support but just lacking security overall. So it's good to see that they are giving at least some time for people to adjust. And it's just interesting because I feel like Adobe often doesn't want to let go of the proprietary kind of technologies they develop and have a hold on. But this is certainly making sense on them, and it seems good that they're pushing it, even if I think they're taking a little more credit than they need to on developing.
I mean, to be fair to Adobe, 100% fair with them. HTML did not play video before Flash played video. Like Flash made like YouTube started out on Flash. Flash did make a lot of things possible that HTML had to then catch up with. So even if Adobe wasn't the one writing the code, I can see where they're coming from. Like, we pioneered it all because they actually did make video ubiquitous on the internet a lot sooner than HTML did.
Yeah.
But
I'm just not sure how much they contribute to the standards, but I would have to look.
Oh yeah, I mean the standards themselves, technically probably not. It's more I read that as more of a like
they kind of prompted this
big picture, like just meta. We prompted the ideas, and then somebody
they made this commonplace thing.
Yeah, but that'll be really interesting. I really hope that they actually go through with it this time because this isn't the first time they said they're phasing out Flash. But hopefully they'll actually go through with it. It'll be interesting to see where they go afterwards. And now still about games though, like Agar was one of the ones you were talking about, and they have like that's just mainly flat circles. It's a really complex thing probably because you've got all these people interacting, but graphically it's just flat shapes and then some text. I don't know what Town of Salem looks like. I've never played that online, like I said. But, like, when you think of online Flash games, like, there are websites like Cool Math Games and stuff, like, just full of nothing but Flash games. Some of those, I don't know. I think it would be difficult to implement some of those, like, with, like, race cars and stuff, like, crazy games with kind of graphics that... It'll be really interesting to see how people adapt that if like Cool Math Games goes all HTML in 3 years after Flash is disabled, or if people.
But WebGL.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard with RuneScape 3 when they were calling it, but RuneScape like basically rewrote their entire client, their entire Java client, in HTML5, and they used WebGL to do full 3D rendering, and made like some massive upgrades to it like 2 or 3 years ago. So with WebGL, it definitely is possible. It's just with the standard HTML5 canvas, I'm not sure quite as possible, but certainly with what people have done in terms of getting like OpenGL ported to the web and getting it to run with JavaScript, which is quite an accomplishment of the people who have been involved in that.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty impressive.
That's fair.
And I think it could cause a whole new kind of generation. I mean, it would be interesting to see how you could, if that means eventually, if that gets popular, that like phones say, like iOS has never really supported Flash at all.
Yeah.
If you could then essentially play games in your browser on your phone, and how common that would ever be, as opposed to just downloading the app itself.
I don't know what the controls would be like for that, because Android used to have Flash as well. Now, Flash for Android was discontinued a while back, but Android used to have Flash, but it was really weird. Like, the controls for it were always just, it was hit or miss if you're able to actually do things or not. And I wonder if iOS is going to support WebGL, or if they're just going to say, we're not supporting WebGL, use apps for games, because that's kind of what they did with Flash. But yeah, that's fair enough. I don't think I've ever used anything with WebGL. If I have, I didn't know it was using WebGL. So maybe that's definitely something that probably opens up a lot more possibilities than I'm aware of. So, yeah.
And I don't know what WebAssembly is. That sounds pretty cool.
Oh, so yeah,
I'd like to look for it.
I didn't know what that was either.
But I think that's pretty much all we can milk out of this article. I mean, I think it's a very kind of important change, and I think probably Adobe's going to stick with it, since they've given themselves this 3-year time frame, as opposed to kind of just the last time where they did it with very little announcement and very little leeway. This gives them a good transition time, and it gives, more importantly, the few people, I'm pretty sure it's not a very big group anymore, but the few people still left using it, some good transition time as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's about it for this. And basically, the next article was about Valve releasing a new version of SteamOS.
Yep.
So we actually covered their SteamOS update that they did 2.5 weeks ago, I think, on the show. And when that came out, and they're actually updating fairly frequently on SteamOS, because it's only been 2.5 weeks since the previous release.
Yeah.
And they upgraded again the kernel packages, fixed that fixed a bug and upgraded the kernel packages back then. We covered it. But now again, they upgraded things, rebasing them to the upstream Linux 4.11.12. So it's nice that they're keeping pretty much in sync with the kernel itself.
Yeah, and they're also keeping in sync with Debian's Jessie security updates and stuff too.
Yeah, and that was the other thing.
Yeah.
Because those were really important. I guess it counts Apache 2 Samba, Bind 9, and Events. I guess I don't know why certain stuff is running Apache 2 on it, but I guess
we talked about that last time.
Servers and
yeah.
And then they also introduced Flatpak being available now, so you can actually get the SteamOS, or I guess you can get SteamOS through Flatpak?
No, SteamOS. Well, SteamOS is the distro, so
or they have Flatpak support.
It's got Flatpak support. So
SteamOS.
What this is doing is making it so that right now SteamOS is kind of, you can get other Debian packages, but it's made just for Steam. But then what this is doing is allowing you, if you want to install third-party applications on your Steam machine, now you can use Flatpak to actually install up-to-date, like completely non-gaming applications, and use your Steam machine as a computer as well.
So Flatpak is now going to be included in the, I guess, core distribution is the idea.
Yep.
I assume before you could add third-party repositories and have gotten Flatpak that way.
Yeah, you probably could have installed Flatpak before, because you can install it on Debian. But now it's going to be...
It's now just out of the box, which
is a big thing, because, there's a big difference between having to install Flatpak and then use it, or just finding a guide online that says, type in Flatpak install this, and then just doing it,
Yeah. So that's pretty much everything on that. And finally, I was going to cover that GNOME's disk utility. They're adding a fair amount of new functions to it. So apparently... This reported on 3.26 and some of the features that would release in September 13th as part of it. But now there's been some more information, and basically the developer, Luke, I don't know, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing his name, but basically they've implemented, or they're planning on, at least working on it, the ability to resize partitions and file systems, as well as check file systems and repair them. I mean, it's pretty cool that you'll be able to check the file system itself right from a disk utility, rather than having to get something else to, say, check your file system. And then And just the ability to resize partitions is, I guess, somewhat probably new. I have not used GNOME disk utility in a while, so I think that would make a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
And they also plan to improve NTFS support and FAT file system resize support as well, which definitely is handy for people like me who have both a Windows hard drive and a drive running Linux in the same system, so you can essentially access both those drives from Linux and do disk utility functions related to them.
Yeah.
And it is the versions available for testing today. Also here they had a bunch of things that they mentioned, just a long list. They mentioned the ability to prompt the user to stop running jobs when closing the app. That sounds like a quality of life kind of improvement. Better support for, I guess, probing unmounted and mounted drives. Implementation of hints for passphrase fields. That's another kind of quality of life improvement. And just a few other things that should definitely help your daily experience if you use it fairly regularly, so you won't have to get other applications to manage the stuff for you.
Now, when you say quality of life improvement, we're not talking that's going to revolutionize your whole life, the fact that when you X out of disk utility, it won't just stop you running jobs or anything. But it's like, what you mean by that is that it's not a big technical change, but it's like a nice feature to have. It makes it a little bit more polished, which is what the GNOME developers are going for. Yeah,
that's what I don't know. That's how I always thought of quality of life improvements. Just those kind of small little things here and there that make using a program quicker, better, a little more, just a little better in every sense, but not something that's a major support change.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
And that's about all the news this week, right?
Yes, that was all the news we had this week. So we'll take a little break, and then in a bit we might talk about SteamOS a little bit more and take a look at it here. All right, let's do our Nerd Club ad.
All right.
Are you going to just answer no every time when I ask you? Because I was trying to do that with Stephanie, but then she started answering, yes, I've heard about it. And then I was like, oh, what do you know about it? And then she's just like, well, you should tell them, not me. I'm just like, geez, I don't know what you're trying to, what act are you trying to pull here? I can't tell where you're going with this, Stephanie. Okay, we're about to take a look at SteamOS and see if we can get it installed in VirtualBox. But first, Richard, have you heard about the Nerd Club?
Yes.
Oh, you have? What have you heard about it, Richard?
That it's a subscription service.
It is a subscription service.
Help out with people.
Yeah, you can help out Nerd on the Street specifically. And Nerd on the Street, that's us. We're making videos like this one and other videos that we make. And if you go over to nerdclub.knots.co, then you'll get to this Nerd Club page. So if you enjoy our videos, which you can find on whatever channel you're watching this on, then yeah, you might want to support us a little bit. It takes time and money to make videos. It takes equipment to make videos. We have to put in time to prepare for the videos because we're always so highly educated on the topics we're speaking about on this show specifically. So nerdclub.knots.co, it lets you support us, just give back a little bit. We're not asking for a whole lot. In fact, a Nerd Club subscription, you know how much it is, Richard?
$3 a month.
$3 per month. That is insane pricing. Very, very affordable. You can join us through Patreon, and Patreon is legit. I hope that the page loads here. You can join through Patreon, and on Patreon, it's legitimate because lots of people use Patreon. You can see the goals that we have set for ourselves here, and as you can see, like I said, $3 per month, and you can get all of these cool perks. You can get a special Nerd Club flair on your nerdonthestreet.com account. You can get access to Nerd Club only channels on our Discord server if you're into Discord. I think Richard is into Discord, right?
Yeah.
It's a Discord fan, so you can get an awesome channel on our Discord server. You can get access to full live stream recordings. For instance, this live stream, Richard, how much is there happening on this live stream that we're not even showing the edited version?
I'm guessing 50% or more.
At least 50% of this week's live stream. We've been streaming for 2 hours already. This episode's probably going to be an hour long after I edit it. You can see everything that we're talking about in between the takes, in between the cuts. You can watch it all on the live stream DVR at nerdonthestreet.com by joining the Nerd Club. Like I said, nerdclub.knots.co. And you can already get rid of the sidebar and banner ads on our website if you do join the Nerd Club. Now, we're sort of trying to get to a goal. And that goal is not showing up on Patreon right now for whatever reason, because Patreon's acting up. But Richard, our goal that we've got is $100 per month on Patreon. And that sounds like a lot, but really, like I said, we're only asking for $3 a month from each individual person. But tell all your friends to join the Nerd Club. Tell your family to join the Nerd Club. And, you know, tell everyone to join the Nerd Club, because when we reach $100 per month, we are going to upload all of our videos to nerdonthestreet.com with no ads on them at all. No pre-roll ads, no post-roll ads. You can watch an episode of Displaced and not have to worry about an ad break in the middle. And, yeah, that'll be really cool. I'm pretty excited about it. You excited about that, Richard?
Yeah.
Yeah, because nobody likes ads, really. They're a necessary evil, but nobody likes them. So you can join the Nerd Club, help us get rid of them altogether. And, yeah, like I said, $3 per month. You can also join prepaid if you don't want a recurring subscription. You know, you can do a 6-month membership or a 12-month membership, and it's just the exact same amount of money that you would be paying if you were doing the subscription thing anyway. It's just all at once, so you can do it up front. You can do that right through nerdonthestreet.com. It's actually powered by Stripe. That occurred to me that if somebody thought that I had actually written my own payment processing system, they might not want to use that. Because, Richard, we actually had people emailing us like probably 8 or 9 months ago. I had a few different emails saying that people wanted to sign up, but they wanted a prepaid option. So then I added the prepaid option. Nobody has used it yet. But you could be the first. You could be the first person ever to sign up for the Nerd Club through the prepaid option. nerdclub.knots.co. That's nerdclub.nots.co. It will bring you right to this page here. You can click one of those buttons and, yeah, be the first person ever to actually use the button. It'll be amazing. So, yeah, do that. And a big thank you to all of our current Nerd Club members for supporting our content, because it really does help us out. All right, and that was a pretty long Nerd Club segment, I guess, but that's okay. We can advertise for ourselves all we want. All right. See how we're doing on this.
I'm taking a look in the chat now, but
all right.
We don't have anything in the official chat. You can check some of the others.
I'm gonna get out of the screen sharing Jitsi. May or may not improve. Yeah, it looks like that's speeding up this download a bit.
Yeah, because your camera feed's kind of blurry on my end.
Oh, on Skype?
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, this is not the camera. The camera is still over here that is on the stream.
Yeah.
Like, in case you didn't figure that one out.
Because you still have the issue where 2 apps can't share the camera feed at the same time, right?
Yeah. No, that's going to be an issue for a while. That's not changing anytime soon. But one day. I'm sure I think there are programs you can use to get around it, but I've got 3 cameras or so anyway, so. Yeah, I had my...
Yeah, I have 2 if I count my phone.
Yeah. I had been...
I guess 3 if I would count my phone.
I had been using my Lumix, which I've got here, this big camera, as my streaming camera, because it's really high quality, and I've been plugging it in via an HDMI capture card to my laptop and using that. But of course, it's got a not great battery life for streaming. And I've got this. This is like a 1080p. It's a C920 is what this webcam is. So not the highest end anymore, but basically the highest end Logitech webcam. And but I had glued it a couple years ago to a plate, this thing here, and this is the plate for my expensive tripod. I've got a studio tripod as well.
Oh, gosh.
And this is a big plate. This isn't just one of those cheapo plates. This is like a solid plate that goes on this big tripod. It's a big heavy tripod with like a fluid video head, so you can turn it and it's smooth. But that thing doesn't fit in this room, so I haven't been using that. But then I had several plates, so I had glued the webcam to one of them, so that it didn't wobble around when it was on it, because it used to before I glued it. So yeah, I decided to finally. I had been keeping it on because we used it at Extra Life last year, and we're going to use it at Extra Life again this year. But I decided to go ahead and break the webcam glue off of the plate, and it actually was very difficult to get it off because I had super glued it on. It wasn't just any glue.
Gosh.
But it was.
And it's had a year to solidify.
Yeah, at least a year. But yeah, this still has glue resin on it. I tried cleaning it up a bit. But yeah, got it off.
So alcohol wouldn't work?
The only thing I'm sure that would work. I tried a lens wipe with alcoholic solution already in it. I'm sure if I got something more wet than that, then it would work a little better, but it's no harm right now, and I'm still obviously will be using the other plates for other stuff, but We're not going to put that camera on the that tripod again for Extra Life this year anyway, because it was way blown out because this camera can't handle really bright lighting.
Yeah, my webcam actually seemed to be doing better when I put the bright lighting in the room up.
Yeah, no.
Although I imagine they don't get as bright as the spotlights that you might have. But.
Yeah, no, we were on a stage last year, and it was funny because the person who was behind the scenes at Extra Life last year, like, he knew that this webcam wouldn't hold up to that light, so he had it dimmed. And then I was like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, I have the lights dimmed for the camera. And I'm like, no, you gotta turn those lights up. We're gonna be here for 25 hours. People are gonna fall asleep if you have the lights dimmed. So he turned the lights way up. And then if you watch the Extra Life recording, you can barely see our faces whenever we're on the main stage camera. So next year we're gonna use the studio camera for that, and then this will be somewhere else.
Yeah. It's pretty funny. So you just like overexposed it completely.
Yeah. And we had secondary cameras as well. So the secondary cameras looked fine because they were like, there was this $900 one. There was we were borrowing one from the venue we were in too. So that one was really high quality, even though it was interlaced, so it had lines all the time. But yeah, those looked fine lighting wise. But this one, the C920 did not. I could have downloaded FreeBSD by now. It's a bit smaller than SteamOS, although I would not be able to get it working.
Have you tried it, or?
Oh yeah, I've tried it. Here, let me... Where's my, Oh, I don't know where it's at. I've got a FreeBSD disk that is my cup holder. Because that's what I think of FreeBSD. I have a video called A FreeBSD Adventure from a few years ago on YouTube. I got flamed so hard on that thing because I didn't know what I was doing with FreeBSD, and I was like using Linux terminology, but like when you go to FreeBSD, that's incorrect terminology. So people were like yelling at me in the comments, and I'm like, guys, I didn't say I was an expert. I couldn't get it working.
I believe I actually watched that video, but I didn't read the comments, so I was probably
people got angry about that one. Yeah, it's one I have not taken it down, but. People have gotten angry about it. I don't use that cup holder.
Yeah, you might have gotten some subscribers from it.
I might have, yeah. This desk is too nice for me to use the cup holder right now. I had it back at the studio I used to be in, but once this desk is a bit older, I'll start using that cup holder again. Still downloading SteamOS. Yeah, I really got to get that wired. I pulled the wire halfway through the house this week, so then I just have to.
Ethernet cable.
Yeah. It's halfway through the basement ceiling downstairs, so I gotta finish it up.
In the router video, you should have like way faster internet once you do that, though.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing though, is I should already be getting pretty fast over Wi-Fi. Like something was up after I moved my laptop, and I don't know if it's because it's closer to the concrete wall, but it's still the same wall it was behind before, and it is closer to the router now.
Yeah, Wi-Fi is just finicky and frustrating. Because, like, it's weird. Sometimes I'll be in the same room while with on my laptop. I get way better Wi-Fi speeds than I do on my phone. And I know it's, like, it's probably, like, the antenna, like, strength. I don't know. Because, like, they'll have completely different signal strength on them. Even though I'm in the same spot with both of them. So I don't know.
Yeah, my phone signal is fine right now. I also don't have the network manager applet showing, so I can't even see what speed I'm actually getting.
Fast.com, other than upload, doesn't show you upload, but it's a really quick test for download.
That's the one that Netflix owns, right?
Yeah. You can also go to slow.com.
I don't want to do that.
That's another domain name.
Oh, is it? I don't want to do that right now while we're on stream, but I don't know how much I'm actually using right now is what I could see if I had the network manager applet, but I keep having to connect to the internet via the terminal every time I restart my computer, and then I'm like, oh man, I have to install network manager. But then I can't because I'm not connected to the internet. So then I go through the work of connecting to the internet, and then I'm like,
don't do it.
Yeah, and then I am about to install Network Manager, but then I remember I actually got on my computer to do something else. So then I go and just forget about it. But yeah.
I don't restart my computer much, so I end up like staying on Windows a lot or staying.
So once
I don't switch back and forth.
Right. Once I connect to the internet, then I just forget I don't have Network Manager until I want the speed indicator.
That needs to be my goal this week, is to finally upgrade from 1504.
Yeah.
And probably just ditch the Ubuntu mate process.
What are you going to?
I don't know. I've heard Manjaro. Is that what it's called? This is the Linux one, or not the Linux, the Arch one that has it like built Manjaro.
Built what?
That has it like a unique desktop environment, right?
No,
I'm trying to look.
It doesn't have a unique desktop. Manjaro is an Arch derivative. I believe it's made. It has a KDE implementation. It's got Plasma, okay. I think. Let me see.
Well, because I want one of the ones that's like the tiled one where like it's a really simple window.
Seriously, dude.
I want to try it.
You're gonna become one of those cool kids with a tiling window manager.
I gotta learn all the.
Yeah, Manjaro comes with Plasma for sure. Now Manjaro is based on Arch, so you can get it with XFCE, KDE, GNOME. That's it.
Well, I probably actually want to get the rolling release in general, and then having the benefits Arch without having to configure everything myself might be a benefit.
Right. Now Antergos is what I personally have used for Arch with easy setup, because Antergos is an easy setup, but then it uses the Arch repositories. Manjaro has its own repositories, and their updates are a little bit delayed because the Manjaro people actually like test things, whereas the Antergos people, it's just Arch.
Okay, so you're not really on bleeding edge then, are you? You're close to it, so you're like behind.
Even on Arch, I mean, there is a testing repo for Arch technically, but on Manjaro, it can vary for different packages, but you're generally a week or two behind regular Arch or Antergos. The thing is, though, you don't always have to update. If everything's working fine and you're in the middle of something, like, don't update until you're done with this project. Like, I never update in the middle of an edit, you know?
Yeah.
What does
I don't have to relearn Kden Live while editing a video.
Yeah, or like I don't want to update the project file and have it change.
Oh yeah.
That would be worse. So Antergos lets you install from 6 different desktops. What are they?
I like that slogan. Your Linux always fresh, never frozen.
Yeah. Where is? I don't know.
So does it include KDE Plasma by default, or?
You can get it through the Antergos installer. Now let me Antergos desktop, because it's got, you choose during your installer. It like asks which one you want to install. Okay. Which when you're installing regular Arch, it's just as easy because you just type pacman install whatever you want. But all right, Cinnamon. Antergos used to be called CinArch because originally it was just Arch with Cinnamon, which was Linux Mint's desktop environment.
So apparently JetBrains helped them out. Special thanks to JetBrains.
Who?
JetBrains, they're the people who make PHP Storm and IntelliJ IDE and stuff.
What about them?
They're behind Antergos.
Oh, really?
So there's a special thanks to them. So I assume they maybe allowed them to use their software for the open source project.
Yeah. I don't know where a freaking list is of, it's probably on the front page. No.
What's the easiest way to back up, to compress my entire home folder so I can keep everything in my home folder when I move?
Well, what you should probably do is... do you have an external hard drive or something?
Or a flash drive I could use too, okay. But I just wanted to compress it.
You should
have a 32 gig flash drive, so...
Don't just copy /home/Richard. You want to actually copy your desktop folder, your documents folder, those individual folders, and leave everything else, because there are hidden configuration files in your home folder that you do not want to switch between different distros. It'll cause all kinds of problems.
Oh yeah.
If you keep the same config with different versions of things.
So what if I just have the
Raviolin's here.
Control H to switch between hidden and not?
Hi Raviolin.
Oh, awesome.
Good to see you. You missed all the news, Raviolin, but we are downloading SteamOS right now. We're going to take a look at it as soon as it gets done downloading. Have you heard about the Bitcoin fork, Raviolin?
We need to be educated on it.
Yeah, we do need to be educated on it. I was hoping you knew something about it because I've been reading about it. I own 0.004 Bitcoin, and it was $10 when I bought it. The maximum it ever got to was about $11, and then it crashed down to $7 once. It's back up to about $10.50 now. No, not Ethereum. It's Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin is actually being forked, and the person who I bought my Bitcoin through sent me an email telling me about it. Is how I found out, and they were like, "Just so you know, our company is not endorsing this fork. We're just sticking with plain Bitcoin." But then,
there's a new version of Bitcoin. That's being forked?
Yeah, what they're doing, they're increasing the block size from 1 megabyte to 8 megabytes, which is supposedly going to make transactions a lot faster. And there's something else too that has to do with some security thing with making sure everything is reviewed by other computers that happens. I forget what it's called, like Segwin or something, but
Segwit, apparently.
Yeah, that's the one.
I'm just skimming through an article right now.
But if you own Bitcoin, once they fork into Bitcoin Cash, like, you'll own that same amount on Bitcoin Cash, because Bitcoin has a ledger, which is like, it says all of the transactions that have happened, which also includes how much Bitcoin everybody has. Bitcoin Cash is the first fork that's going to keep that ledger. They're making a copy of it. So if you own Bitcoin right now, you're going to have a separate, like, you'll own the same amount of Bitcoin Cash. Now, what I don't understand is that the same wallet? Or is that a different wallet? How do you get to your Bitcoin Cash if it's Bitcoin? Or how do you choose which one you're going to go with? At this point, I think I'm really doing Bitcoin wrong right now. I'm doing it completely incorrectly because I bought my Bitcoin through Coinbase, and I have it stored in their hosted wallet right now because I don't want to have to worry about backing up my Bitcoin wallet when I reinstall my operating system when I've only got $10 in it. But that actually takes away a lot of the point of a cryptocurrency having it in somebody else's control. Like, the whole point is you're supposed to have the wallet yourself. I bought the $10 just to, have a little fun. I'm invested now, but I'm not going to buy any more than that because I don't want to lose all my money or anything. But
when I first started looking into Bitcoin, it was like 500, and now it's like 2,700.
Yeah, and it's like if you had bought in a lot there. Yeah, but then the other thing
originally it was a few dollars,
right? And it's like,
actually, it was like less than 2 cents.
We could have been rich, Richard. We could have been rich on Bitcoin.
We missed an amazing.
The thing is, though,
investment opportunity.
Is we also could have put all of our money into it, and it could have crashed. So you never know which way it's gonna go, and so yeah, it's risky, and that's why I only bought the $10 just for fun. But yeah, my Bitcoin providers,
The whole thing with Bitcoin and a Bitcoin wallet is it's completely anonymous if you actually have a regular Bitcoin wallet.
If you have
Whereas if you do it through Coinbase, Whereas if you do it through Coinbase, they get to have your name and all.
Right, and
copy of your license if you buy or sell stuff.
Yeah.
But
then on the other hand, I don't have to worry about backing up my wallet every time I reinstall my operating system. But no, if I was actually going to buy serious amounts of Bitcoin, I would have it on my own computer. And I was actually mining Litecoin for a while, for like a month, and I ended up making like 0.002 cents. So that wasn't worth it. But my point was,
unfortunately, it's really hard to mine anything anymore.
Coinbase emailed me and said, if you want to have Bitcoin Cash, you better withdraw it from your account with us before, 3 days before the fork happens, because we're locking all of our accounts during this fork, and we're not doing Bitcoin Cash. So, at this point, I don't think I could sell my Bitcoin or, transfer it out if I wanted to from Coinbase. I think they have initiated the lock already, and it's locked until after the fork happens on August 1st.
So is anyone actually staying with Bitcoin, for other than Coinbase?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, most people. But, because, by default, you're going to have, people have Bitcoin, will continue to have Bitcoin. It's a big mess, but I see, the only thing I understood while reading about it was the increased block size, going from 1 megabyte to 8 megabytes, and even that, I don't get how that really, I don't get why that helps, but I can see it, that it helps.
Well, would improve security? I don't know.
No, it would improve the speed of transactions being placed and confirmed. Because what was happening was the block size was too small, so many people were making so many transactions that it was overloading the Bitcoin network, and then people would try and make a transaction and not receive confirmation for days that it had actually gone through.
Oh.
So then the 8 megabyte thing, now you're going to have instant transactions. The security...
Until eventually that fills up.
The SegWit thing was the security part of it. But that...
okay.
Right, but once again, I shouldn't be speaking about it because I have a very loose grasp on all of it. Yeah, Ethereum was
I don't
weird.
understand.
Go ahead.
The way the network works, if you have majority of the computing power on the network, you essentially control it, right?
Yeah, but nobody has the majority, do they?
I don't think so, but you could. I mean, that seems like I'm sure, and maybe that's what they're trying to do a workaround for, because that would be if someone ever somehow, especially just like how Tor, if you get at both the endpoint and the no and the entry
Oh yeah.
point, you can pretty much figure out what people are doing. So I mean, that's kind of the fear I would think with an anonymous kind of cryptocurrency. As soon as someone gets that level of control, just like if someone got that level of control in Tor, then they could have massive control over the network itself.
Right. I mean, with Bitcoin, there's pretty much guaranteed competition there, though, because if you've got the computing power on the network, that is mining, right? And so
I think
when you mine Bitcoin, you are processing transactions that are happening right now, from my understanding. So everyone wants in. Like, the only way that one person could get a majority of power is if, like, the other majority just said, oh, I don't care about money anymore. And then whoever's left over is going to end up with the majority. But yeah, Ethereum was weird because like last year I had looked into Bitcoin and Litecoin. I was mining Litecoin. There was like Dogecoin, all these other coins. And then this year I looked into Bitcoin again. And then yeah, Ethereum, which Raviolin threw out in the chat, like I just saw that and mixed in. It was like Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, the big three. And it's like, where did Ethereum come from? This is new. I don't know this.
Yeah. Also, the fact it's just like the people who are actually mining have like so many insane setups now.
Yeah.
That doesn't like an individual, you really can't compete with them anymore.
And that was why I was doing Litecoin and not Bitcoin, because Litecoin is the silver of cryptocurrencies, if Bitcoin is the gold. So like the whole point of Litecoin, you can buy a Litecoin, an entire Litecoin for like right now it's $40. Now last year they were 30 or 20, so I should have bought like 10 last year and made money. But once again, I didn't know that it was going to increase. It could have decreased. Even we could have made a bunch of money, even just that crash that happened last week. When the news was announced about it forking, there was a big Bitcoin crash, like I said. Like a 30% crash. And then it skyrocketed right after that, though. So then...
Yeah.
If
I mean, that's back to 2,700, so...
Yeah, if we had bought in just a bunch when it had crashed for that little bit, when it dipped, then, yeah, but there's no way to predict the future. I guess we just need a time machine.
Yeah.
That's really the problem here, is that we don't have a time machine. Otherwise, cryptocurrencies would be much more viable for me personally.
Yeah. First you have to get rich, then you get rich to build the time machine, and you use the time machine to get rich again.
It's a paradox. Somebody needs to subsidize the time machine, and then I'll pay him back after I get rich. SteamOS still downloading. I can see the progress bar moving, so...
Well, that's a good sign. At least you know your browser hasn't frozen.
Did you ever answer Random Dude's question last week?
Regarding what?
Vim or Emacs? In a world where Space Max doesn't exist.
In a world where... Let me go check his question.
And I answered for you, Nano. But then Random Dude said, no, I asked Richard, not you.
Yeah, I would probably have to go with Nano. So I've used Vim like 5 times, and I still I was in the Unix user group club at my college.
Yeah.
And they had to show the first time I was in Vim how to get out.
Yeah.
There's this comic called The Commit Strip on Twitter. They post them on Twitter, and they're hilarious. There was one all these people stuck in Vim and they can't figure out how to get out.
Yeah, I was doing a race at school with Mark. We were racing to install Arch Linux, and this was when he had not used Linux at all. And I was just, let's race installing Arch Linux. Now, when we got to selecting your mirrors, he asked, how do I select my mirror? I told him to use V. And then he got stuck in V. I used Nano, and then I'm installing while he's still stuck in the text editor. I felt kind of mean for that one.
Yeah, I think I finally figured it out. And I think I would know how to be able to do that.
It's like Colvin Q, right?
It's just a pain. Yeah. But yeah, here's the commit strip one. If I can send it over. Oh, that's... Freaking Electron Skype doesn't let you... Oh, okay. You can send a message through Skype.
Hey. Where do I see it? Help?
It should be... no, click the little... click the arrow at the top right.
You know what I don't like? Arrow at the top right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why it took me a long time to figure out how. But hey, at least it's got video calling.
You know what
it just needs screen sharing.
You know what I don't
just
like?
Fix that in general.
On my system, I've got Telegram installed, Telegram desktop, And whenever I get a Discord notification, if I click it, it opens up Telegram. If I get a Rocket Chat notification, I click it, it opens up Telegram. I just got that Skype notification, I clicked it, it opened up Telegram. Telegram has taken... there was a period of time where I've got a hot corner, where if I open up the hot corner, it opens up all these virtual desktops. I've got a grid of 9 virtual desktops. And one time it broke, so when I tried to use the hot corner, it just opened up Telegram. I'm like, how does this keep happening? Telegram has just, like, hooked into my system. I don't know how that's possible, but it's just taken over.
Uninstall Telegram.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll probably go with Antergos then when I reinstall it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to dissuade you from Manjaro. I'd love to hear someone's first-hand take on it. I've just never used it myself.
But I prefer to, like, if I'm going to try something that's an Arch derivative, I want to try Arch kind of with Bleeding Edge first and see.
Yeah.
And then it's, like, driving me nuts because everything's updating too fast.
Yeah.
But ultimately, like what you're saying, I don't have to take updates if I don't
Right.
need, if I don't want to. And I mean, that's, like, the benefit over the whole discussion we went with Snap packages last time.
Right.
You don't have to update
Exactly.
until you want to.
Exactly.
And you can choose which packages you update.
Well,
you never have to worry about your
here's
getting in the system that I was in here.
You remember how I said Arch isn't actually about control, it's about simplicity?
Yeah.
Partial upgrades actually are not supported on Arch. Now you can do it, but it's not a supported function. You have to reinstall the packages you want updated if you want to actually just update some of them. There's no like update this command. You can install this and it'll reinstall the newer version, but like just the update command, it's pacman-syu and it will update all of them. Now it'll ask you, do you want to do this, yes or no? But yeah, it's not actually supported. Now, like,
I'm used to like the software updater in Ubuntu, and
Right.
you just check what you want to do and what you don't.
yeah.
But I guess there's no real feature for that in this.
No, I mean, like I said, if you want to just update one thing, just type the command to install it. It'll reinstall. It'll get the newer version. But yeah, Manjaro tends to release updates in like waves. So like every month they'll have a wave of updates, whereas Arch is literally just whenever the developer updates it. Now the AUR, you update everything manually. Now if you use Antergos, I don't know if it still comes with the same thing it used to. Antergos used to come with a program called Pacman XG, I think it was, and that was it definitely still comes with some graphical package manager that should have AUR support, because AUR packages are more complicated to install than regular packages. You can figure it out, it's not that hard, but if you've got a package manager, a graphical package manager, then it doesn't even look any different than installing a regular package. But I think Pacman XG was discontinued though, so they may have changed it out with something else in Antergos. Yeah. Still downloading.
I had
It's
something
not
I was
even-
going to say and then I forgot it.
You know that this
Oh
is...
yeah, well basically,
Go ahead.
I've only used Ubuntu basically like in their derivatives at all, so in the past. So
Yeah.
basically, it'll take me a while to get used to not doing apt-get like that as the package manager. Just moving to another one like that it's going to be a big move probably for me.
Yeah. I mean, I started on Fedora, so I started with Yum. But every now and then I'd still type apt-get. And I'm like, what am I doing?
Like how SteamOS's site like it has the install Steam at the top thing.
Yeah. Now, yeah, what I was about to say, this might not even work in VirtualBox. Do you know, is there a thing that blocks it from VirtualBox?
I don't know. We should probably look into that.
Yeah, I guess
that
it's not
takes you to About Steam.
Yeah. How to install SteamOS in VirtualBox. Prep work. Alright, here's just a tutorial on installing VirtualBox on Windows. Glad somebody needed that. What is all of this? You'll need to select recovery mode. Alright, either somebody made this tutorial that makes installing SteamOS way harder than it needs to be, just to scare people off, or you actually can't do it in VirtualBox. It's definitely not easy to install SteamOS in VirtualBox. Valve clearly didn't intend for you to do this, according to extremetech.com. Shell prompt.
So I hope this is old and not accurate anymore.
Well, I found an updated one, but it has something similar. Click the start button to boot. It will show a screenshot like this. So I think the part of the problem is that it's made for UEFI. SteamOS.
Does VirtualBox not support emulating UEFI?
I think it does partially, but clearly something's not
fully
there. I mean, there's a reason all these extra steps are here. Is it that hard to install it on a physical machine too?
I would hope not.
I don't
Though
know.
the whole point of it was like making it. They were trying to make it so they had like kind of an easy setup for Linux to people who play games. And they make it that hard, makes no sense.
If we don't have a second segment, then I can't do the Nerd Club ad. And if I don't do the Nerd Club ad, what's even the point? What was the point of this whole video, Richard, if we don't do the ad?
We could switch it to talking about Bitcoin. You could just cut it.
Oh, yeah, we can switch it to talking about how we don't know what's going on with Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's a great segment to have. You could put the Nerd Club ad at the very beginning.
We'll tell people every dollar they put into the Nerd Club this month will be invested in Bitcoin. And then after the split, we'll see if it goes up or down. It is fun to just open up and see, like, where are we at right now with Bitcoin? Oh, it's been going down, but my balance right now, see, I've got $10.76 in Bitcoin. That's a 76-cent gain over when I first put it in a couple weeks ago.
I have $3.06 in Bitcoin. That was the last bit I had from mining.
Oh, yeah?
That I didn't withdraw.
You mined that much? That must have been a while ago.
I mined $30 worth, but I spent like a $50 thing online, so...
How long ago was that?
Because that was a cloud miner. It was like a year,
it was a cloud
and a half or something I started.
So that wasn't... you didn't have a physical machine mining?
No.
Okay.
I didn't want to use my like physical computer because my graphics card is pretty old.
Right.
It's like this GTX 650.
I was doing CPU mining for Litecoin. Was not very productive.
I have no idea what Alexa's saying currently.
You got an Amazon Echo in your home?
Yeah, and it heard me say. And I switched the word to computer, so now it triggers randomly.
That's interesting.
So I can say Alexa and I don't have to worry, but...
There was another story we completely forgot, or I was going to look into it for possibly a feature. We need to take a look at Minecraft one of these weeks.
Oh, yeah, I saw that like a month ago.
I saw it on Linux Action Show a long time ago, but it's finally getting to the point where they're releasing things. So, there's a Plasma widget for it. I want to install that. The thing is, you need you need to set up a Minecraft server and then a Minecraft client. And you can do it on the same machine. But then, yeah, I want to check that out.
That's cool. And then all your devices would be running off the same...
Right.
Intelligent kind of assistant that you run rather than, say, going recording, giving all the data to Amazon or to Microsoft or to Google or Apple.
Man, I was so disappointed about the Dailymotion update. Did you see that? That was crap.
No.
They were hyping that for months. Oh, Dailymotion's rebranding. Dailymotion. It's the new experience. We're making a comeback. We're gonna clean ourselves up. We're cleaning up our act. It's not gonna be an ad-riddled mess.
Oh my gosh! It literally freaking looks like YouTube with the what to watch and the following thing at the top.
Did they? What are you talking about? Did they actually change something now? Because like
Dailymotion.com.
Last time I checked,
that their site?
It was the exact... Yeah, it's Dailymotion.com. Let me see here. Oh, they actually finally updated it. No, they said they were doing it on the 26th. And then they didn't. I was so disappointed. Now, here's the thing, though. If we go to dailymotion.com/nerdinthestreet, it's the same. Look at that. Go to dailymotion.com/nerdinthestreet. That looks the same as it did before. It's just the front page and the app is the main thing they updated. It was just the app.
Wow.
But, like... The channel pages look the exact same. If you click on a video, the player page is the exact same. It's just the home page that they updated.
And then the home page with the drop down on the side with the three lines. It's another kind of like rip off right of YouTube. But they're blue, like every other major social media network. Have you noticed that, like Skype, Twitter, Facebook?
I like blue, so I'm okay with it. But yeah, now if I go to dailymotion.com, it just looks normal again. I don't know how you just got that. Like, what did you say that made me get the new version for a second?
Dailymotion.com/US.
No, now it looks like the old one again, doesn't it?
I don't even know what the old one looks like to know.
Well, yeah, you weren't using Dailymotion before. But yeah, no.
I'm not a heavy Dailymotion.
I'm pretty pissed because I was like, oh, Raviolin says Dailymotion is blocked in Russia. Here, Raviolin, let us show you what this looks like. This is Nerd on the Street, like, breaking boundaries over here. We're showing Raviolin in the chat what Dailymotion looks like. So here's what it looks like. It's pretty crappy. Looks like YouTube except a lot more banner ads. Now I've got ad block on right now.
I have ad block, so I didn't notice that.
But if I go to dailymotion.com/nerdonthestreet, this is an archive of all our videos, and it is monetized. Do you know Dailymotion paid us before YouTube ever did? Like, we got our first payment from Dailymotion. Then YouTube started paying us every 2 months, and Dailymotion never paid us again. So, so yeah.
Did you have like one breakthrough video? Because I noticed you have like a really high view count overall on the channel.
It wasn't one breakthrough video, but there were a few that were like viewed like lots of thousands of times. And what would happen was, if you look at the analytics, like some clickbait website would put one of our videos up, and then like a ton of people would click on it, and then that would be it. And like, it's funny because like Displaced, like episode 10 has like 3,000-4,000 views. None of the other episodes have more than like a dozen on Dailymotion. Like one of our Minecraft videos we did, like our Let's Plays, had like 30,000 views, but it was like episode 7. None of the other ones had a whole lot. So that was what would happen. But yeah, this is what it looks like, Raviol. And yeah, I was actually excited. I was counting down the days to the new Dailymotion. I'm like, man, it's really gone downhill, but they're bringing it back. It's going to be a big thing. Finally going to compete with YouTube. They're going to bring YouTube down, because I'm getting pissed at YouTube over here, you know. But then, yeah, I click on one of these videos again, and I'm not signed in right now. Oh boy. And notice how it's 144p automatically. Now it went up to something higher, but yeah. Horrible bandwidth. Let me turn off, Raviol, let me turn off ad blocker so you can get the actual. See, it blocked. 41% of this page was blocked by the ad blocker. 41%. That's how many ads are on Dailymotion. So, Raviol, this is what Dailymotion looks like when you're watching.
So that's how you made so much money.
Right. Look at all of these. These are all ads here. This is ads. This is ads. These are ads.
All right.
Ads.
Oh,
ads.
A little lower.
Ads.
No,
ads. Ads.
All right, that's good.
And then at the bottom here.
I think that's
at
good.
the bottom. Oh, that's more ads.
Okay.
More
hello.
ads. It's just auto-scrolling ads.
I can't say I'm John Rising.
And then I'm talking louder because
I'm Jacob Kaufman, and welcome to On the Spot.
Here, I'm gonna mute this tab. All right, so I'm not yelling at Richard's ear.
Everywhere.
No, there's an ad at the bottom right, an ad at the bottom left, and then we get to the bottom here of the screen. Where's the comments section? And this is the problem with Dailymotion. This is actually just loading more ads the further
you get into
go.
the comments section.
Right, here we go. So this is a banner ad at the bottom. But see, like, there's ads on the side up here. There's 1, 2, 3 ads. There's like a side ad, and then there's another side ad. This is ridiculous, Dailymotion. What are you doing? This is so bad. I tweeted at them when it first started getting really bad. Like, hey, you guys, have you noticed how bad it's getting? And then they didn't, you know, their Twitter account didn't respond. Man, where is the comments?
Oh my gosh, the amount of ads when you're like on the watch page. What the heck?
It's ridiculous, but these are all ads, but I don't see the comments section anywhere. So either it's not loaded yet because of all the ads, or we can't see it because we're not signed in. Now let me sign in and see.
It just never stops loading ads.
It's so bad. No, let me sign in here and we'll actually see if we can find the comments. But no, yeah, they were talking about this big redesign. They redesigned the app, but yeah, the player was not redesigned at all. All right, so here's what it looks like.
One of the worst words. Oh my gosh, it just never stops. I don't think it ever stops. I don't really want to have to see any more of these ads, so.
Yeah, no, they're not even good ads. Like, YouTube has relevant ads. Dailymotion, all clickbait. All clickbait. All right, I'm signed in now. I'm going to go to this one more time, and we'll see if we can find those comments.
I will never make my sites like this. That's awful. I think about 2 ads is enough.
Raviolin says that ad means hell in Russian. So that is ironic. Where is... I know there's a comment section somewhere.
Someone needs to invent, like, or write a plugin or a stylish script that just makes Dailymotion actually look good.
They've written it. It's called uBlock Origin. And I'm going to turn it on right now. It's just so bad. Like, it didn't used to be that bad is the thing. Like, when I signed up for Dailymotion, it was like, all right. Yeah, what's it at now? It's, yeah, blocking about 41% again. I don't even... Where are the comments on this? Do I not have comments enabled on this thing? Did they remove comments with their update? That's probably what happened. No. Let me go to one I know there are some...
YouTube again.
Yeah, everyone always complains about YouTube ads, so we innovated. Let me see here. I know it's like Twitter, where going to old things is just really difficult too. But, you know, I know there used to be comment sections because I used to get spam all the time and I had to report them. But if we go back here, let's go to an older video that I know we had ads enabled on.
So I just realized I never retweeted your tweet, but
you gotta that's why we didn't have any viewers. It's all your fault, Richard.
It's not that I have any active Twitter followers anymore.
All right.
So.
One of the first videos we put on. All right. Did you see that autocomplete? That one of the. Let me try this other search box. So Dailymotion. All right, YouTube alternatives. I got comments on this video from people who were with me when we made our Dailymotion channel back in February 2014. I was like, hey guys, here's some YouTube alternatives. People commented saying, hey, you're right. Let's get rid of YouTube. Yeah, they actually removed comments. There's no comments anymore on Dailymotion.com.
Is there an article? Let me search Dailymotion.
You know, the reason why this is because they talked about they're not trying to compete with YouTube anymore. They're trying to compete with like Amazon Prime. They're trying to make a curated video experience. They don't care about independent uploaders anymore. They're trying to like curate the experience for viewers, like pushing professional content toward them. And professional content doesn't have comment sections. So that's why this happened. But now I'm even more pissed because they actually removed my comments from some of these videos. Ravulent asks, have you tried any other video hosting services? So here's the ones that back in 2014 I found. We had Vimeo. We're going to use Vimeo as our hosting for nerdonthestreet.com eventually, once we get to $100 a month, because we actually need to pay Vimeo, whereas all the other ones pay you. But Dailymotion...
Oh, wait, you need to pay Vimeo to host it?
Right. There's Metacafe, Vidler, which got shut down after this video, and Zipcast also got shut down after this video, I believe.
Like got shut down or just shut down?
Now Vidler, got shut down like shortly after. Vidler ended up turning into a professional thing where you need to pay them once again. Read the tags I put on this video. And we had Dailymotion, Nerd on the Street, Jacob, Kaufman, YouTube. Google bought YouTube. YouTube sucks. YouTube is bad. Vimeo, Metacafe. Those were the 10 tags that I put on there back in the day. But yeah, Raviolan, if you know of any other video hosting services, throw them out. But most of them either charge or they suck worse than Dailymotion. But yeah, I want people to have an alternative to YouTube.
Hello, everyone.
And see, like, also we use Dailymotion for archiving. We are streaming to Dailymotion right now. You can see it says live at the top of our page because this stream is going to Dailymotion, and then it will be recorded privately, and then I'll put it onto the livestream DVR for Nerd Club members on the website.
Oh yeah, we are live.
We are live. You forget about that? We're doing a stream right now, Richard.
We are live on.
But
no, the live one.
5 minutes left on the SteamOS. 5 minutes left. Richard is so patient. This is great. We're just hanging out.
Hey, I feel like we're having an actual talk show now.
I mean, yeah, that's what it is.
Because I feel like at the beginning we were just panicking, trying to get ready. So at least I was.
Yeah. Well, you were this week. See,
comment everything, highlight.
I actually got home like an hour earlier this week, so I was able to highlight my articles, and we also didn't have a whole lot this week. But I was able to highlight mine in advance, so I was on top of things this week. I've actually started listening to Linux Action News now, though, which I swore I would never do when Linux Action Show shut down.
So they just do news?
Huh? Yeah, they...
So the people who did that just started doing just news?
They switched to a show where it was...
mixed format?
Yeah, they switched to a show where it was just news, and I was like, screw that, variety format's not dead, we'll do it ourselves and show them, and, you know, we know how far that lasted. But,
that lasted 8 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, if you count the rant on Snap's variety content.
Well, this is still more than just news, because we're doing more than just news this week, but,
yeah.
But it's not like, we don't have picks, we don't have runs Linux, we don't have all that stuff, but I was a big fan of Linux Action Show. Now I'm not watching, like, Ask Noah, like, I'm not watching those kinds of shows on Jupiter Broadcasting, like, I don't need to know how to open a Word document on Linux, but, but yeah, I've started, I'm catching up in Linux Action News. I figured if I'm going to start watching it now, there's only like 10 episodes out, I might as well start from the beginning, and that way I can say I've watched the entire show.
I think I watched one of the videos when they were doing the System 76 thing.
Yeah.
For a while, I was thinking about getting one of the lightweight lean to my kind of lightweight laptop. But I mean, I never had the idea of getting like a powerful laptop since I was bringing my desktop with me at college.
Yeah.
That's like still my plan. Although I need to upgrade and move from 8 gig of RAM to 16 gig of RAM. That's my plan. And I also need to replace my 1 terabyte hard drive on Windows with a 2 terabyte hard drive and copy that over.
All right. Raviolan suggested. What about it?
Well, basically, the master boot record of my Windows drive now got replaced when like Linux install, or when Linux installed the master boot record and replaced the Windows one and just made a link to it. So I have to figure out how to somehow fix that. I think I may just have to, like, when I install Linux, like, just unplug the drive cable internally so that it doesn't try and...
Wait, what's
like,
the problem?
I told it to install the other drive. It basically wrote the, what is it called? I can't remember. It begins with a G. They're
Grub?
bootloader, but yeah, Grub.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it wrote an instance of Grub to my Windows drive and replaced the master boot record on it with that.
Right.
And then had a link to start Windows. So I can still start up Windows,
right.
But it's just annoying.
No, but here's the thing though. If you install Linux and then Windows, you know what Windows does? It wipes out your grub and then it just boots right into Windows without asking. So like, no, that is intentional. That when you install Linux after you install Windows, yeah, it gives you the option to boot into whatever you want. Windows doesn't give you like a menu when you've got Linux.
See, like I guess my ideal I thought was it just wouldn't touch my drives and I would just go in my BIOS and change the boot order when I wanted to switch. Or just make something that could communicate with BIOS to change boot orders.
Now, all right, well, for one thing, you can select as part of the Linux installation process which hard drive to install the master boot record to. However, when you...
I never saw that option.
When you select... Say that you put your boot thing... Say you install grub to your Linux drive, though, it's still going to recognize Windows is on the other drive and give you the option to boot into it. But then if you boot to the other drive, it'll just go straight into Windows. But what you can do is go into your grub configuration, and you can set it to like automatically boot into one or the other. You can also turn the timer down if that's what's annoying about it. You can customize how long it waits. Raviolan suggested vid.me, but he heard it makes viewers pay, which he says makes it even worse, but I would prefer that to me paying. But, you know, nobody's going to pay to watch our videos.
I mean, wasn't Vessel... Vessel was around for a while. They were kind of giving the video.
Yeah, it's not around anymore, is it? Because Brett really wanted us.
Verizon bought it, right?
Oh yeah, they did. I remember reading about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brett from our gaming channel really wanted us to get into Vessel back when it was a thing, and I kept telling him it's invite only. He's like, ask them for an invite. I'm like, they're not going to give us an invite. But yeah, hey, easy transfer from YouTube. Find new fans. I mean, the thing about VidMe is that, like, nobody's being a patron on us. I don't think anyone's gonna... Alright, enabling paid subscriptions allows you to support. Currently only available... Alright, so paid subscriptions are only available for verified creators. Let's see. Can we upload for free on VidMe? World's most creator-friendly video community.
That's not a very quantitative description, but we'll see.
Alright, so they do have... They have ads on their videos, but there's no ad revenue sharing right now. The only way to make money is by doing paid subscriptions. So, see, if we're gonna... Like, I don't want to be splitting the bill with somebody...
It does say, choose to show ads on your videos and earn 70% of all revenue generated.
Oh, where's that?
That's what I'm saying. Just vid.me front page. First row, far right.
Oh, yeah. Well, alright. I'm signing up for this right now. But aside from that, the thing about Vimeo is that you pay them. So here's what I figured out with email, Richard. You know how like Gmail is a free email service, but then they like track all your crap, right? Because it's free.
Yeah.
So does AOL's got tons of ads, and Yahoo gets hacked. Like all the free ones have drawbacks to them. Fastmail. I've been using Fastmail for years. I pay Fastmail every year for Nerd on the Streets email. It works beautifully. I've never had a better email provider than Fastmail. It's faster than Gmail. It's better than Gmail. The web interface is better. The app is better. And they're not looking around in my stuff. One time, I had to contact support because something wouldn't send. They actually had me move it into a folder and name the folder a specific thing so that they could know we're going to access this folder and we won't even see any of your other email because we can only access it when you name a folder this. They actually care about you more because you pay them, which makes sense. If you pay them money, they are obligated to give you a good service. They don't have any incentive to screw you over because you're already paying them. They don't need to sell to an advertiser. They don't need to sell to anyone else. So like with Vimeo, I'm thinking it's the same thing with videos. Like YouTube is incentivized to, put ads on my videos. As long as my videos are making money, YouTube likes me. If my videos don't get ad clicks, YouTube doesn't care about me. Vimeo, I pay them. They're making money whether people are watching or not. But because I'm paying them, I've tested their player. I've uploaded certain Nerd on the Street videos to Vimeo already privately. Their player works a lot better. It's way better download speed for me than Dailymotion, definitely, and sometimes even YouTube. And it's a better, cleaner player. They had 4K a lot sooner than Dailymotion did. So yeah, I am excited to do Vimeo once we get to the point where we can afford it. And when we get, it does not cost $100 a month, but I want us to be making some margin of profit, That's why we're not just doing, we could probably afford to do Vimeo pretty soon here, but we're not going to put all their money into it. But if people are going to start paying to watch our videos, then we'll do that. All right.
That's cool. I'm just looking at Fastmail now. I'm tempted now to switch to that for Richard Rich's projects.
Yeah, what do you use right now?
I'm currently, my domain is hosted with GoDaddy still because I bought that a long time ago. So I'm just using whatever they provide, it's called Workspace Mail or something.
Right.
And the weird thing is the thing to sign in is secureserver.net they called it, which I have no idea how they bought that domain and what that's associated with.
Yeah, no, I actually had a client recently. I switched somebody off of a really big IT company here. They had a contract with this IT company that was expiring, and I switched them off of that, and I'm just managing their stuff now. But they had this company who was saying that they were hosting their email, and I did a trace route on the domain, and it went to secureserver.net. And I said, you're paying these people $300 a month for email,
to pay someone else,
but they're not hosting it themselves, just so you know. Yeah. So.
And it's way, way cheaper. I'm sure, it was not $300.
Oh, yeah.
I actually get mine for free with my domain.
Right.
But I would be fine with paying $5 a month to Fastmail.
And what I do with Fastmail...
The problem is...
Yeah, go ahead.
Domains... GoDaddy's, domains prices are really high now compared to, domain.com and Google domains and a lot of the alternatives.
Are they? Well, no. Here's the thing with GoDaddy is you got to find a coupon every single time you buy anything, right? That's what I did when I used GoDaddy.
But then... Yeah, but then basically they'll say it doesn't work if you're renewing something. They won't let you use the coupon.
I found renewal coupons once, but then I use Hover for my domains personally now, and they are a couple dollars higher than Network Solutions, but I find they don't upsell me, and they have a really nice control panel. And when I make a change to my DNS on Hover, it propagates immediately, whereas GoDaddy took a few hours.
Hover domains. How much are they for a .com domain then?
I think $12.99, somewhere around there.
Because I think, do they give you free private registration?
Yes, they do. Yeah. Which GoDaddy
does
not.
That's what. Yeah, I ended up paying $25 a year, whereas with Google, I was paying $12 a year.
Yeah, I just cheaped out when I was at GoDaddy and didn't have it, but once again.
Well, I ended up getting so much spam to my emails because of that that I was I really get constantly. Whatever it's called, where bots just find it and then give it to people who use.
All right, so I've got SteamOS downloaded. So now we are going to attempt to install SteamOS, right, in VirtualBox. I believe that's what we're trying to do here.
It might be a good idea if we set up Jitsi again, so I can see.
Yeah, I guess that's a good idea.
Your screens.
All right. I'm doing the mark test.
Because I'll just kind of be sitting here twiddling my thumbs, wondering what's going on.
All right, I shared it on the Mark Desk link, so you can check that. GitHub link here, version 2. Let's follow this tutorial that is on SteamCommunity.com. This person probably knows what they're talking about. So Mark, I don't know if you knew this, but we don't actually. This is not an ISO file. This is a zip file. And we actually need to make our own ISO from the folder.
Oh.
So that's step 1. We are going to extract the SteamOS installer zip file into a folder. And now I'm going to take that folder. And we cannot use free ISO creator because that's Windows only. But Create project file with K3B. Let's see if we can use K3B for this. K3B has frozen. Oh no, here we go. It's dialog box. No optical drive found. That's because it's not plugged in right now. Thanks, K3B. Do you want to add hidden files? Yes. All right, and we are adding. All right, looks like K3B is going to do this for us right here, right now. So that would be awesome. I love KDE apps. So simple. Take that, GNOME. All right, so we just imported that folder.
Disk utility.
Yeah, we just imported that folder into K3B. Now here's the thing. I don't think we actually want it in this folder here. I think we want it all. No? I think we want it all. Yeah. I'm going to move everything one by one out of this folder and into the disk itself. Boy, if this doesn't work, I will not be surprised. But we'll go ahead and... Can we select multiple things? Yeah, we can select all these, drag them all out there. Okay. Okay, how do we remove a folder? Well, now we've got a folder called nothing. All right. Well, we'll just call it SteamOS and hopefully it won't mess anything up. So, we are going to make an ISO from this. Edit boot images. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Burn. Create image only. So this is going to make an ISO.
And then the real question, will it actually run in VirtualBox?
Right. Well, the first question is, am I doing this ISO creation thing correctly? Because I don't know if I am.
Yeah, because if it didn't write anything to the boot part of the ISO,
right,
it's not going to do anything.
Which I don't think it did. But we'll see. So now we've got steam.iso. We can open that with Arc. It contains, at least it contains all the right files, as well as a useless folder called SteamOld. So we'll try opening up virtual. I don't have VirtualBox installed, so we'll just go ahead and install it live on stream. Sudo pacman-s VirtualBox. Oh, 2 providers available. We're gonna do 2 because I'm guessing that means, all right, we're gonna do 2. We're gonna install the host modules for the Arch kernel because that's what we're using. Gosh darn it! And so VirtualBox is downloading right now. It'll be a minute there.
I wish I could see your screen better, but on my end it's 1 of 6, so it's hard to view.
Open it up in OBS and then apply a crop filter and crop it down to just the part, because that's what I did with your screen, so that I can see it on the stream. So you can do that with my stream, my screen. Don't
I actually do have OBS installed in this.
There you go. It might be older than the crop filter if it's from 15.10.
Oh.
I don't know though.
It probably is.
Probably not.
Yes, I wish to remove all these scenes. And OBS, I think, already crashed.
Yeah, it wasn't too stable.
It did that old
then.
Windows effect thing.
Was not.
It did that old Windows effect thing where you drag it around the screen and it just creates all the like color behind it.
Yeah, I'm glad we ported that over to Linux. That's #1 feature. Yeah, Raviolan, if you wanted to, I was about to say that if you did want to follow along with us, you probably should have been downloading it when we were screwing around for an hour. Because that was what we were doing, was downloading.
How big is it? I wonder how fast it would.
It's like 1.8 gigs. Yeah, I will have a wired connection by next show. Scout's honor, I promise.
And I mean, I can't quite promise, but I'm going to hope that I will finally get a legitimate...
A legitimate what? You cut out.
A legitimately recent version of Linux.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Something made, in the last few months.
Yeah. Maybe upgrade to 16.04 LTS at the least. But yeah, if you get Antigos or even Manjaro or something, yeah, it'd be great.
At this point, I feel like if I'm going to update, I might, or if I'm going to have to do all this work.
You keep cutting out.
Nope.
Stop cutting out so I can hear you.
Oh, it's Discord.
If you're going to do all the work.
If
you're going to do all
the application of Ubuntu. All right. Well, yeah, I figured if I was going to do all the work to back up everything, I might at least try something new.
Yeah.
Instead of just sticking with Ubuntu.
Right. Definitely.
What region we're using?
Raviolan has an ETA of 19 minutes for downloading that file that I had to stall for 45 minutes while we downloaded it here on stream. Thanks for bragging about it, Raviolan.
We are on U.S. Central. Okay, I guess that's closer to you.
We are in U.S. Central.
On Discord.
Oh, yeah, where are you at? What state are you on?
Virginia.
Yeah.
So I would usually use East.
That's kind of central, isn't it? I don't know.
I mean, it's about as far east on the East Coast as you get.
But. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. I suppose.
I mean, the beach is about like 2 hours away from me.
Yeah, okay, that would be pretty far east, I guess. Yeah, one time we had to switch the Discord to Australia because all of the United States ones stopped working for a bit one day. But then we switched them back. And yeah, I mean,
when apparently Australia worked better than any of the US ones.
nerdonthestreet.com is hosted in Atlanta right now because that is DigitalOcean has their closest DigitalOcean place is New York, I think, and then there's also one in San Francisco. But then Linode also has them in Atlanta and Dallas, which I love that Linode has the closer locations to me personally.
I can't remember where I put my Linode. I think mine's in Atlanta.
Yeah, that would probably.
I don't think they offered. Mine original was when I was on DigitalOcean. I was running my VPS from New York.
Yeah, we should probably do that for.
So I literally just named it Richard-NYC.
Oh yeah, we should probably do that. We should probably make a VPN on Linode this year for Extra Life because last year at Extra Life we had it in New York, and all of our games were being super slow. All right, we have VirtualBox installed. And by the way, Raviolan made a Russia pun in the chat. I didn't make the pun. Raviolan made the pun, so blame him, not me. But we do have, and immediately a new version of VirtualBox has been released. That's embarrassing, Arch. I did not update my... I probably should have updated my system before the show today. If I knew I was going to be installing something, I would have. So that is not actually on Arch. But we are going to start up a new virtual machine here. SteamOS Linux. And that is going to be, we're going to call it Debian 64-bit. We'll give it 4 gigs of RAM. Create a virtual hard disk.
Try to see if there's a crop filter.
All right.
So how do you apply a filter to a source?
How do you apply a filter to a... Richard, how would I know these things? How would I... You would right-click the source and click filters.
It doesn't apparently have that, so...
Okay, well, you don't have crop filters then.
I would have thought about the obvious things first.
I am continuing here, so we do have our processor. We'll bring that up to 2 processors, extended features, enable PAE. Yes, that is required for this, is what I read online. We are going to enable 3D acceleration and our ISO file. Most important thing, documents, SteamOS, steam.iso, and let's see if this works. Starting up, failed to open session. Kernel driver not installed. Last week's was fun to edit because I was getting worked up about stuff and we were talking. This week it's going to be really slow to edit because I'm going to have to cut out all this crap while still keeping some kind of coherent conversation. Arch Linux VirtualBox.
And we had, even during the news, we had some problems that we'll probably have to cut. So it's always great when they hear people talk about the editing during the editing or during the video.
Mod probe. I try not to do that trope too much. VBox drive. How about that? Oh, how about that? I think I fixed it. I think I've used VirtualBox before and I know some basic troubleshooting skills. Okay. Start. Got it. A+, 10 out of 10. So I had to run mod probe VBox DRV. Rookie mistake, not doing that. And no bootable medium found. System halted. All right. So VirtualBox working 100%. SteamOS not quite there yet. We're gonna keep working on it.
Or the fact that we didn't write it to the ISO properly.
No, that's what I mean. I'm still working on the ISO.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? There is a SteamOS ISO available for download. So,
I don't think I can wait another hour.
Yeah. Also, I don't know how they're not updated. All right, yeah, we're not waiting for that file to download. Okay. Any backup feature?
I don't know.
All right, we can have a montage of us talking for an hour while we're waiting for that to download. But me and Richard have been streaming for 2 hours and 20 minutes now. And I actually don't have work tomorrow, which I'm very excited about, because I did have work today. But I didn't break down crying today like I did last week. Huh?
8 minutes to download a 1.8 gig SteamOS DVD.iso.
For you?
Yeah.
Well, here, why don't I put it onto your screen? Do you have VirtualBox installed, Richard?
Let me check. Probably not on this one.
Well, if you don't, then that's not going to help us.
Oh, no, it's going up. Now it's 37, 34.
Right. I want to thank everyone for tuning in this week. I know we didn't have a big feature this week, but we had some news, and we talked about some miscellaneous things after the Nerd Club ad that was totally in the middle and not at the end of the show. So thanks, everyone, for watching. And if you have suggestions on topics we can talk about, leave them at the forums at nerdonthestreet.com. rr.knots.co will bring you right there. Or leave them down in the comments below on YouTube or VidMe, our new VidMe channel that we will have by the time this video is uploaded, maybe. I'll have to read the actual terms and conditions for that website. But yeah, hey Richard, thanks for showing up this week. Always a pleasure to make videos with you. Are you still good to do an episode next week?
I should be. Hopefully, if my wisdom teeth are not going to be too much of pain getting them out Monday, but it should be a fairly long time from Saturday.
Well, we'll see there. If Richard's not here next week, now you know why. So yeah, thanks a bunch for showing up, Richard. Where should people go if they want to find more of you throughout the week, by the way? So
you can you can follow my Twitter at glorif22, or you can check out my website, richardsprojects.net.
All right.
And that's about it.
And yep, you can find more of me at nerdonthestreet.com. That's also where you can find other Nerd on the Street content. Big thanks to Raviol in the chat room for showing up this week. Always great to see live viewers. We're over at live.knots.co. We tweet at knots_network when we're going to be streaming, so that's where you know when to show up. For now, though, that's everything we had planned for this week and a little bit more. So, I'm Jacob Kaufman.
I'm Richard Bimmer.
And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.